ॐ त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तिसुदेशिकेन्द्रं द्वैपायनं सूत्रकृतं मुनीन्द्रं श्रीशङ्करं भाष्यकृतं यतीन्द्रं मद्देशिकञ्चापि नमामि विद्यै। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या सम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः सर्वोपप्लवरहितप्रज्ञानगणः प्रत्यगर्तो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। ॐ प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। Pranams everyone. We are in the 16th chapter, Sloka number 3. Shri Bhagavanuvāca Tejah Kshama Dritihi Shaucham Adroho Natimanita Bhavanti Sampadam Daivīm Abhijatasya Bharata. So Bhagavan in the 16th chapter is explaining about the Daivi and Asuri Sampad. Daivi-Sampad being the good qualities, good virtues, good habits, and the Asuri-Sampad being the opposite of that. So, for a spiritual seeker, these are the good qualities that one must possess, or these are the qualities, Daivi-Sampad are the qualities that one must possess for the person to be able to attain moksha or attain the qualifications needed for Jnana Yoga. So if we have the Asuri Sampad, we will have to ensure that it leaves us. These qualities, as I mentioned, is not only probably relevant from a spiritual standpoint, these are equally relevant from the daily transactions that we make in the world. These qualities will help us achieve our dharmartha lakshyas as well. That is the goals for materialistic living. So in this last class we started with the third sloka. Tejaha we saw. Tejaha meaning smartness, brilliance, the ability to take decisions, the right decisions in a short period of time. So this person would be able to both think through and take the right decisions for cases or conditions where it needs to be, and also be able to think of the foot, basically be able to be quick on taking the right decisions. We saw this, another meaning for this word is also being resolute, unwavering, firm. Tejaha, we saw that. And then we saw Kshama. Kshama basically we saw as two meanings, patience and forgiveness. We had seen about detail about Kshama in Akrodaha when we discussed Akrodaha. Patience, how can we get patience? Only by practice. We have to put an effort to be patient every time we are in a situation where it requires our patience. So whenever we are getting angry, whenever we are getting upset, whenever we are getting irritated, we should recognize those incidents, those cases, and at that point of time tell ourselves to be patient. Forgiveness is important because by able to forgive others, especially people who are doing bad onto others and especially to us, it is important because it will also help us to ensure that many of the negative qualities leave us, including dvesha, himsa and all those things. And in terms of how to actually inculcate forgiveness, we saw two easy steps, two broad guidelines under which we can actually identify the person who has done a mistake. The person could have done a mistake either out of ignorance or the person could have done a mistake out of inability to do the right thing. If we are able to recognize that at each situation, which requires some bit of spiritual maturity to understand, it is easy to forgive. If not, we will have to look at other options. The other options being, one, to bring forth the bhava of compassion, daya, to say that I want to be compassionate and hence I would like to forgive this person and I would want to forgive this person. So that is one way to forgive. The other option is to accept, to say that this comes out of my karma phala. Or accept it as Ishvara Prasada. Take it as a prasada from Ishvara to say that this is actually a test for me to grow spiritually. I have to mature spiritually using this particular incident. And Ishvara is the one who is giving it to me through this person. This person, I need not hate this person. It is only through this person Ishvara gives it to me. So this is another way to overcome hatred or inculcate forgiveness. So these are the two gunas we saw in the last class for this sloka. Now the next value is Dritihi. Dritihi means willpower, resilience, or we can say determination. So Dritihi actually will be, Bhagavan will be talking about Dritihi, this willpower, in later chapters also, as in 17, 18 later. But and that Bhagavan is going to divide this willpower also into three. Basically Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic. Here we will see some amount of Dritihi. We will go a little bit in detail, but not as detailed as in the other chapter. So what do we mean by Dritihi here is, if we had decided to do some work, we have taken up some work, we have taken up a particular action, or we are committed to do certain things, then we have to be determined until we complete the work. Normally, many a times what happens is, in many cases, we start something and then we do it for some days and then afterwards we lose interest. It could be for anything, even for that matter, even for this class, a lot of people, or Vedanta classes also, or to understand Gita, many people would have started on it. Then over a period of time, they will lose interest, they would not complete it. And that is true with lot of things that we actually do, especially around the first month of the year, where many people actually put in some kind of resolutions for the year to say, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to achieve. Then we would have seen that over a period of time we lose interest in many of the things. The so-called battery charge comes down. The problem with these resolutions which we take, it won't even last a month. The reason is, we are not able to follow any discipline. We do not have the discipline, or we do not have this habit of doing a sadhana continuously. Doing a sadhana continuously and regularly. So we should not be like that. We should be determined and we should show that resilience. Hence the word Dritihi. So the Dritihi, as I said, we can actually divide it into three. We'll see that later. But this willpower or determination should not be confused with some people showing some kind of adamance. It should not be confused with that. Some people have this willpower for wrong reasons. So some people might say that to get even with another person, will say, I will not forgive this person in my life. So much of determination would be there. That even if there is an opportunity for me to forgive this person, I will not allow that opportunity to play the part. So that amount of determination for wrong reasons. And Bhagavan calls this determination or this Dritihi as Tamasic Dritihi. That is why I said these are three: Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic. Bhagavan is going to determine this as Tamasic. What we are going to talk about here in this sloka is the Sattvic Driti. The Sattvic Driti being, we start with a goal or a sadhyam. What happens? We start with a goal. So what happens initially when we make a decision? It is our Vijnanamaya Kosha, our intellect, which takes the decision. Our intellect says wake up early, or our intellect says do a yoga asana daily, or our intellect says avoid fatty food. So our intellect says or decides, that is Vijnanamaya Kosha does it, takes the decision. Now to reach to that goal, our mind has to cooperate. Because when we want to start the sadhana, the mind has to ensure that it takes us to the goal. So when we have to wake up in the morning, when the weather is actually chill and the bed is cozy, the intellect says wake up, you will have to do your yoga or your exercise. The mind refuses to cooperate. The mind says it's fine, I want sleep. So for the sadhana for us to actually reach the sadhyam, the intellect has to take the decision as the first thing, then the mind has to cooperate. So this is the problem with the mind-intellect conflict. And with regards to the doing a sadhana or letting it go halfway through, one particular sloka divides humans into three categories. The first category is basically people who do not start any sadhana, fearing that there will be some obstacles, there will be problems, there will be some hindrances. So they have this in the mind already. So even before the thought comes to them for them to make the decision, they will actually negate it. For example, they will say, I don't want to take Ekadashi Vratam. And they will give you some reason. They will say, when I go to the office, somebody will offer me anything, I cannot say no to them. Some reason they will give to ensure that they don't even start or they don't even make the decision. They say, I will not try to do any Mauna Vrata because people will be always talking to me. So those kind of people, they don't even have a sankalpa. So that is one category of people. Then the second category of people, most of the cases it will be the first one. So if you ask people to come to Vedanta class, listen to Vedanta, they will have a reason. That is, it is actually, they might give us some reason. They will say it's actually a waste of time, or it's for after retirement, it is not for young people, or it will make you dull, or it will make you lose interest in life. They will give all kinds of reasons. So they will not even start. Then the second set of people are those people who actually start it, but they discontinue it at the slightest hint of any hindrance or obstacle or any issues coming up. They have the sankalpa, but they are not determined to overcome the obstacles. Then the last category, and this is actually a very minority percentage of people. Few people do take the sankalpa and also show Dritihi to complete the task. For them, every hindrance when they get it, every obstacle they face, they will take it as a challenge. And not only that, when they overcome, and after overcoming it, their determination becomes even more stronger. When we have a willpower for a good cause, it is called as determination. When it is for a bad cause, it is stubbornness, adamance. In Tamil we say pidivadam. It doesn't mean that once you take the decision, you will have to follow it irrespective of what comes through. It does not mean that. What we have to do is, once we have taken a decision, we should stick to the decision until or unless a new data point comes. So if a new data point comes, we will have to make sure that we will have to take this. For example, if a person has decided to take, say, Somavara Vrata, and this person actually goes for a fast on every Monday, then one day if he faints on that, the person faints, and then the doctor identify that this person has got some blood pressure or sugar or whatever it is, and therefore this person should not fast. Now with this new data, we have to change the decision. That is called as proper intelligence. So at that point of time, we should not be determined. We should not say, I want to have the Driti. We should not be foolish to sort of discount the new data point. So once we understand that the decision is wrong, we will have to change the decision, if it is possible. Otherwise, if the data point is irrelevant, then we should continue or stick to our original decision. Remember, when a new data point comes, or when something new, when a situations change, at that point of time, it is only wise to consider the new point and alter the decision accordingly. Even to alter the decision, it is considered a tapas, because we are giving away our ahamkara. Normally there are people who are on the other extreme, where they say, once I have taken a decision, I will not change it irrespective of whatever comes, irrespective of whatever new information comes. So that is considered to be foolishness. And not only that, it actually tells that the person has got a high amount of ahamkara, ego. He does not want to change his stance based on new information. Whenever we get some data points, it could be even willpower about sadhana is one thing, but we will have some opinion about others, and we would have made a strong judgment call on somebody. This person is like this. Now, there could be situations, there could be areas where we have information about this person not being like that in various places, or there could be instances where the person does not behave in that manner. At that point of time, we should be wise, and we should also ensure our ahankara does not overrule our intellect. Our intellect will say, this is a new data point, this person is not like that, maybe you have to change your judgment about this person. At that point of time, many a times, for people who have high ahankara, they will refuse to change it, saying, and they will give reasons also. Oh, this is only an exception. This person is like that only. I know this person very well. So these are things for us to actually reflect on and to see where our ahamkara is high, when is our willpower good, whether our willpower is determination or stubbornness. These are things for us to self-reflect. So if the cause is right and my decision is also right, and if I don't pursue on it, then it is called a failure. But if the decision is wrong, and if I actually pursue it, then we are only showing ahankara. If the decision is wrong and we are changing our decision, then we basically are telling our ahankara that you need not be right all the time. Slowly what will happen is the ahankara will reduce. As we reduce our ahankara, we get closer to Ishvara. Ultimately, it is about total surrender. So ahankara is not that good for wrong reasons. As I said, if the cause is right, if the decision is right, and if we are sticking to the decision, then it is called as willpower. It is good. So when will I lose this willpower? If I lose normally this willpower whenever I get obstacles. So I have taken a decision. Everybody has got some amount of willpower. So when does our willpower get tested? When we face obstacles, when we face issues. And the obstacles, we can classify them as two things. One is pain-giving obstacles. Another is pleasure-giving obstacles. For example, I've taken a decision that I will actually wake up every morning and do, say, yogasana. Say, if I get sick, probably, then it is the first step, pain-giving obstacle. So that is one type of obstacle. Suppose I say I want to wake up early and do yogasana, and then the weather is so cozy outside, it's cold and the bed is warm and I don't want to wake up, then it is pleasure-giving obstacle. So obstacles can be either pain-giving or pleasure-giving. And Dritihi is about not giving up on our lakshya. I will not give up on my goal irrespective of the obstacles I get. So now I will see how I can improve my willpower or my determination. Let us see what are the tips we can see. As I said, everybody has got some amount of Driti. Everybody comes with some amount of willpower. And in fact, everybody has got reasonable amount of willpower. Only thing we don't know was whether the willpower is for my sattvic pursuits or for my rajasic pursuits or for my tamasic pursuits. So some people have this determination to actually say, I want to get this person even. I will spend all my effort, money, time in actually showing this person in bad light, or to disprove this person, or to bring down this person. Then it is tamasic. So this person has got some willpower, determination, but it's for the wrong reasons. Or some person has got this willpower to say, I want to achieve, I want to get my promotion, I want to buy that house, I want to get this done. Then it is all a rajasic pursuit, rajasic determination. Then you have the sattvic determination, where I am determined to do good for the society, I am determined to do good for the people around me, I am determined for me to grow spiritually. So those are all sattvic determination. As I said, some person would not want to let go of their anger on some person would not want to let go of their hatred on some person, even proudly claiming that they will not let go of the person until I take revenge on this person. These are all tamasic. So we should be looking into our willpower to say, where exactly are my Dritihi? Whether it is on right causes, or whether I am using my willpower for wrong causes. The willpower is the same. If I am able to change the goal from tamasic to rajasic to sattvic, I will be able to exercise the same willpower. Just that I have to make adjustments otherwise internally in my body, in my mental mind and intellect. So now we'll discuss tips. Now when we are the discussion on the tips, we will be discussing only on the Daiv-Sampad, only for the sattvic Dritihi, sattvic sadhanas only. We are not going to discuss on the rajasic and tamasic. So for the sattvic, how to improve my willpower? Actually, it can be applied even for rajasic, but let's look at only sattvic. How can I improve my willpower? First thing, seeing some success. Initially, what happens is, whatever goals I have, I should break it down. I should break it down in such a way that it is achievable. Now, for example, from a sattvic standpoint, we cannot achieve, I want to get moksha in the next 10 days. It is not possible. So having a goal which is reasonable, achievable, measurable is easy. So I say, okay, for the next 10 days, I will wake up at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, whatever. And for the next 10 days, I will not actually talk ill of anyone. These are all measurable, achievable targets. So once I am able to achieve it, once I am able to do that, and once I say, okay, for the next 10 days, I have been able to do that, what happens is I get this feeling of success. So once I get this success, my willpower will automatically increase. I would say, after all I have done this, now it's not difficult for me to go to the next step. Say, suppose if I have make a decision that I want to wake up at 4 o'clock every day, and right now I have been waking up at 7 o'clock. Then I should say, for the next 10 days, I will be waking up at 6:30. I should not be putting myself at 4 o'clock straight away. I should say I will wake up at 6:30 every day. So every day, if I am able to reduce by half an hour, I get that into habit. Then once I feel that I have been able to achieve at 6:30, then I change I'll wake up at 6 o'clock. So in the step-by-step manner, we try to achieve it. We see some success on the board. We see some success, and by seeing some success, we know that we have overcome that obstacle. And by overcoming that obstacle, I feel my willpower has worked, and now I have got greater confidence on my willpower. So my Dritihi will improve once I see some success. So that is one way. The problem is, what happens if I keep it at 4 o'clock straight away? Then I'll see failure. I'll be probably able to wake up on the first day, maybe on the second day, after keeping an alarm. Third day, my body will refuse to cooperate. My body will say, I don't care, if you want to wake up, you wake up, I am not waking up. So the body will just lie down. So then we will see failure. The moment we see failure, the mind will get weak. The mind will get depressed. And therefore then the Dritihi or the willpower will be difficult to get. So success is a very big motivation for Dritihi. So once we have tasted success, we will have more success. So success begets success. So we can apply this for anything. So if some people have been angry for a lot of their lifetime. The last 30-40 years they would have been angry. Anger could be their second nature also. So it is not possible to remove anger in a day or two. For them it has to be done step by step. So take small achievable steps, small achievable goals, see success in them, and by seeing success, our willpower and our determination will get stronger. That is one way. The second way is Kshama, or what we call as patience. Patience is important. I should try to do things that will increase my patience. Patience is a very big virtue. Patience is a very important virtue. Because I'll tell you, especially around this, even in the spiritual journey, I know people who had started on a spiritual path and then they say, even after a few years, they will say, I am no more. And I ask them why they are not continuing on their Vedanta or anything. They will say, I don't see any value, I don't see any success, I don't see any change. And that's because they have not been patient enough. Because the continuous Shravana of Vedanta will definitely yield results. Continuous, systematic, regular study of scriptures will definitely improve our personality. But people do not have that patience. It has to be done over a period of time. The problem is patience is fast disappearing in this world. We want everything to be fast. We want everything to be immediate. And people have this feeling that if I come to a class, the fact that I am coming to a class should make me eligible for moksha. I want to get immediate ready moksha. So that is how people are today. Problem is, this in general what happens is our nature is such that we try to avoid sorrows and we look for pleasure. We always try to avoid, in any situation, if you see, the whole thing, whatever actions we do, it is to avoid sorrow and it is to increase our happiness. This is what we do in all the actions. Whenever I do, you can just apply this on any action that we do. I wake up, I eat something because I want to feel happy. I don't visit a particular place because I don't want to get sorrow. So this is the general tendency every human being has, or every Jiva Rasi has. But what happens if we notice, sorrows are inevitable. Pain is inevitable. We will have to go through sorrow or pain somewhere, because that is called as fate. Karma, the fact that we are all born as human beings, mean we have brought equal amount of punya and papa. So the punya is going to give us pleasure, the papa is going to give us pain. So whatever papa we will have to exhaust in this life, we will have to go through that sorrow, we will have to go through that pain. We cannot avoid that. So the intelligent thing about life is, what spirituality says, do not try to avoid sorrow or pain. Do not try to avoid that. When you receive it, when you are going through a sorrow or a pain, just accept it, get accustomed to it, get hardened by that. When you do that, when you face that sorrow, when you face that pain, that is another way that our Dritihi or our willpower goes up, improves. Some people, for example, have higher tolerance for pain. Why do some people have higher tolerance on pain? Simply because they have been able to accept that pain, they have been able to overcome it, they have been able to accept it. So the next time when that kind of pain comes in, they are able to take it easily. Why do some people have lower tolerance on pain? Because they don't want to go through that. Although they may have to go through it ultimately, but they do it without that acceptance. And without acceptance, when you are actually, it looks as if it is being forced on you, the pain becomes double, triple. So to be able to improve our willpower, we should understand that pain and sorrow are part and parcel of our life. Accept it, go through it, get more willpower out of it, get more determination out of it. But what we think sorrow is something that we should not get, and we would want to avoid it. And we also firmly believe that this sorrow has come to me because of a mistake, because Bhagavan has made a mistake. Ishvara has made a mistake, he is giving me this sorrow. I do not deserve this sorrow. That is what we all think. Shastra says it is not true. Shastra says the sorrow or pain that you have to go through, you will go through. Because we had taken a decision in our earlier life or in this life, something which has resulted in this situation for us. There is no effect without a cause. So we will go through this sorrow for sure. So when we get sorrow, or when we get some pain, when we get some difficulty, when we do something good, at that point of time, when we get, and this becomes even more difficult, when we do something good, or when we are trying to do something good for others, we think we are acting in the best interest of that person, and yet there is some pain or sorrow that comes through. This is even worse. Then also we should understand that this is my path to success. I should be able to overcome the sorrow or pain. I should not let go of my objective, which is to do good. It is easy to lose Dritihi in these cases. Normally itself, even when we are doing something neutral and we think we are, or when we are doing something selfish, if some pain or sorrow comes, we would let go of it. And if you are doing something good for others, which is for selfless reasons, and some pain or sorrow or some difficulty comes, it's all the more difficult to overcome that and continue on that path. But that is where the real willpower improves. That is Satvika Dritihi. Bhagavan says Satvika Dritihi is very important. There is no success without going through pain. No pain, no gain. So when we have to overcome this kind of difficulty, we need to have titiksha. We need to have kshama. Patience, tolerance. So patience and tolerance is needed for us to improve willpower. Then the third reason how we can actually improve our willpower is understanding the importance of our goal, the lakshya. Some sadhanas we continue to do in spite of the obstacles we face. And if you realize, and some sadhanas we drop because of the obstacles we face. If you realize, when do I continue and when do I drop? Under what conditions I continue, under what conditions I drop? If you actually analyze deeper, you would know that I would continue on my sadhanas even after I face my obstacles for those goals that I have high importance. If I have that importance, or if I give importance to that goal, I do not mind these obstacles. I will be able to overcome them. But if the importance that I place on the goal is not that high, then I look for an excuse to actually drop off. If I think that the goal is only a nice to have, then I do not continue the moment I face some obstacles. So what is the importance here? So if this is the case, then what should I do to improve my Dritihi so that I continue irrespective of the obstacles or hindrances or issues I face? I tell myself on how important the goal is. So if removing anger is my lakshya, this is my goal, then I should make up my mind. I should tell my mind again and again. I repeat myself to say that it is very important for me to have this goal, have this lakshya, have this, a mind without anger. I should tell myself that without this lakshya, I am a zero. I cannot be. It is not worth living. It is important to have a goal. It is important to have a personality without anger. And if I tell myself again and again, if I actually convince myself, then whatever be the obstacles, I'll be able to overcome. Even again, this Vedanta or Bhagavad Gita, if I say it is something that I need badly in my life, this Gita knowledge, this Vedanta knowledge is very important for me to pursue. I have to get this knowledge. And I tell myself how important it is in terms of understanding this Shravanam, to listen to the lectures, to listen to the Vedanta, to listen to Bhagavad Gita. We'll be able to remove the obstacles that come in our way. Otherwise, what happens is, for those goals that we are not very convinced, we may start them, but we will be always looking for what is the next obstacle I'm going to get, what is the next opportunity, so that I can have a reason to discontinue. So this is what happens. So when I see the value of the goal, when I see a value of the lakshya, we will continue. So we will have greater willpower. We will be able to build more willpower. So this is the third one. Then the fourth one is changing external situations. Sometimes what happens is the circumstances may not be conducive for. So it's at a very gross level. Normally what happens is we look for around in our situations and we'll say, okay, suppose if I am saying, for example, I want to do meditation, and I wake up at say 6:30 or 7. Everybody else has woken up, so the house is in a chaos. There are a lot of noise. Obviously, I will not be able to show the willpower, because irrespective of, even if I close my eyes, I cannot close my ears. The noise comes in. I cannot close my nose. The smell comes through. Something is happening in the kitchen, everything, whatever, it comes through. So I have to change my external situation. So which means I'll have to wake up early. So I wake up early such that I do the meditation before everybody wakes up. So changing external situations is one way to do it. Some people do this, right? Some people go for this Vipassana camp and other places, because they know that at home it is not possible to have this. So at home it is not possible to have the food on the table and then say do not eat. But if I go to a Vipassana camp, I am only served something which I cannot, only a small little portion, and therefore I am forced to eat whatever they give. So I basically pay money to starve myself. But that helps. So if it helps, it is good. So sometimes we'll have to change the circumstances to be able to build our willpower. Because at home, if I have access to kitchen and the refrigerator and whatever, I am not able to stop myself. So I change the circumstances. The other one is also we discussed this, goals, also have some kind of, keep a time limit for certain things and sticking to the time for everything. When we do it, each time we are able to achieve it, we will be able to improve our willpower. So when we talk about meditation, when we talk about not getting affected by what is happening in the material world, some people go to ashram for that reason. Because in ashrams, at least in some of the ashrams, there are no televisions, there are no newspapers. Obviously, of course, mobile phones are there, which has everything right now. But if there are ashrams where even the mobile phones are given only for a limited time, then what happens is we are forcing ourselves to follow the sadhanas, and thereby we will be able to improve our willpower. So when we lack this self-determination, or when we lack this kind of self-motivation, then seeking help of external situations is another way to improve our willpower. Then the fourth one is identifying weaknesses. So I identify the reasons or situations where I falter. So I have to do a reflection and I have to say, okay, under what circumstances I am actually letting go of my sadhanas. We should sit alone, we should reflect, and we should be honest to ourselves. And sometimes what happens is our ego is such that we will actually put the blame on external situations, other people around us. We will not want to call the faults of ourselves. So in those situations, it helps to have somebody else point out the issues in us. Because why? Because we all are good in finding fault of others. So if we are able to get somebody else to point the fault in ourselves, they will be able to do it in no time. They will be able to do it in quick time. So, and if we ask ourselves what are my faults, we will not be able to do it. But if we ask about the others, we will be able to give them in no time. Because we are all focused on what mistakes others commit, rather than focusing on what mistakes we commit. Anyway, so we should be able to reflect on our weaknesses. Where are the areas where I am faltering? How can I improve? In fact, this reflection is a very important step for spiritual growth, spiritual maturity. Reflecting on what we are, where we are, how to improve, what is going wrong. This is important for us to progress. This reflection, and it helps us to understand ourselves better. So I understand the circumstances, I falter. When I lose my willpower, I understand that, and I overcome that. I try to overcome that. So I understand that I lose my anger, or I lose my weaknesses whenever I see, say, a sweet. I have actually taken whenever I see this particular sweet, I get weaknesses. Or I probably have taken say a resolution not to actually talk ill of others. But then I feel that I have broken that. I had actually not been able to keep up. Then I reflect and then I say, okay, whenever I meet this particular person, whenever I talk to this particular person, I engage in loose talk. So that is that place where I actually lose my I lose my sadhana. I give up on my sadhana. So I can identify and then take corrective measures based on that. Sometimes what we do, we try to escape from the situation. Okay, so I do a loose talk when I'm with this person. So initially it is okay to escape from the situation. So you can try to avoid that person. Avoid that person so that you don't engage in loose talk. That is initially okay. But over a period of time, we have to mature ourselves that irrespective of whether the person is there or not, I will not engage in loose talk. That is the next step. So that is how we build our Dritihi. So with that, we will come to end of Dritihi. Dritihi or willpower. Then the next one is Shaucham. Shaucham, we've seen this many times. I believe Shaucham is cleanliness, purity. We have seen that cleanliness is of two types, purity is of two types. Bahyam, Antaram. External, internal. External purity, body, the place around me, the things that I possess, the objects that I have, the possessions, everything have to be clean. And when I say everything around me, it doesn't mean just my house. It's outside my house as well. Wherever I go, I should keep it clean. I should not be throwing away litter outside my house or whatever it is. So this is important, Bahyam. And only if we are able to keep our external surroundings clean, we will be able to keep our mind clean as well. The external, it normally goes from outside to inside. So it is important. Internal purity means keeping our mind clean, which is bringing in all the good qualities. Not having kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, all those things. We've already talked about this mental purity only in this chapter itself, in the last sloka. Basically, as I said, for anything to be maintained, we need to spend time, money and effort. So whether it is whatever we possess, be it a house or a car or even a phone, we'll have to spend some time, we'll have to spend some money, we'll have to spend some effort to keep it clean. In the same way, for the mind also, we'll have to spend some time and effort. We'll have to put some time, we'll have to give some time, we'll have to put some effort to keep the mind clean. We have discussed that. So mind cleanliness is important. Asaucham. Saucham is cleanliness. Asaucham is actually a Asuri guna. Filthy place, dirty place is always associated, or rather Asuras are always associated with dirty or filthy place. So if we are having our place unclean, it is because we have some bit of Asuri guna. That is Saucham. Then we will talk about the next one is Adroham. Adrohaga. Adroham means Droham, we know, cheating someone. Adroham means not cheating anyone. Or in other words, being trustworthy. This is an important virtue. It is a basic virtue that we expect from everyone. Some people, they behave as if they have taken some special coaching on cheating. There is this quality that whatever they say will be a lie. And that would have come out of habit, or that would have come out of a false image that they want to create about themselves. So, and they will act as if they are very nice, and they will try to they will try to gain trust and then look for an opportunity to cheat. See, when somebody does not trust us, it is fine. We should let go. We should not be worried about it. But if somebody trusts us, then there is an enormous responsibility on us, and we should be aware of it. If somebody keeps finding fault or having some issues with us, it's fine. But if somebody trusts us, we should not belie that trust. And for us, it is okay to lose anything to keep up the trust. Retain the trust, keep up the trust is very important. That is called as Daiv-Asura-Sampad. The whole world functions on trust. We go to a restaurant, eat there, trusting that the chef or the cook has not ordered added some undesirable stuff in it, has done in a clean, proper manner, put quality items, and we trust that and eat that. It works on trust. We eat that because we trust them. We drive a car thinking the manufacturing company had put the correct engines, or will not put an engine that will catch fire, whatever, will not actually put something that will actually, the brakes will fail or whatever. We trust it when we get onto that car. When we enter a house, we trust that the building contractors have built the right house, it will not fall on our head. Trust is there. We go overseas, we take a flight, we trust the pilot will take us to the other destination without losing control of the plane. So trust is inherent in whatever we do, in all facets of life. So not breaking the trust is a very important virtue. We should be willing to lose anything to retain the trust, provided the person trusts us in the first place. The person trusts us, we should not let go of trust. Then the final one is Nati-manita. Nati-manita is the last virtue, 26th virtue among all these virtues. We will see Nati-manita in the next class, and then we will close the Daivi-Sampad in the next class, after which we will start introducing we'll start on the introduction to Asuri-Sampad. So we will see more in the next class. Any questions or comments? Okay. If not, we will see again in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha.